Hey, I'm Unique Love, aka Yaya, BKA, Shakita Banana, poet, blogger, food enthusiast, therapist, and BFF of Monie.
And I am Simone Loud, aka Monie, poet, writer, audio engineer, mentor, creative director, and Yaya's bestie. And together we are Love Loud LLC.
2008 marks the year we met at the illustrious Clark Atlanta University. 2016 is when we became business partners. And in 2020, we started our lovely podcast, Truth Carpet.
Truth Carpet was inspired by our real life carpet in our dorm room that we sat on with our friends to speak the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Our version of Vegas. What was said on the carpet stayed on the carpet.
On our podcast, we will share original poems, discuss spicy topics, and quench your thirst with this here tea.
So grab your drink and let's get into it. Hey y'all, what is up? Y'all already know what it is. You are now tuned in to Truth Carpet, Season 2, Episode 5. It's your girl, Simone Loud, one half of Love Loud LLC, and you know who the other half is.
Shakita Banana.
As always, with the nickname. Are you ever going to come back in the show and say, Unique Love?
Probably not.
Does anybody in real life call you Chiquita Banana, though?
I would appreciate it if they did, but no. Nobody calls me Chiquita Banana. It's either Yaya, Yay, Yaskis, Mooka Bean, Unique, Love, Yaki.
Yaki?
I hate that name, but it's my cousin calls me that, and I never stop her from calling me.
Do you know why she call you Yaki?
I think one of the babies, like not like current babies, but one of the kids who used to be babies probably called me that. Like my aunt used to call me, I forgot, but like she'll call me every so often because one of my brothers, when he was a baby, called me that. And I think somebody called me Yachty. So for a long time, my name was Yachty. It's like, oh my God, stop calling me what these babies call me. Call me with my real name, please. Thank you.
Yo, that's how nicknames and families start, though. Somebody just starts saying the name and then they catch on, and then everybody else start calling you that.
Yeah, it sticks.
Since we talking nicknames, people call me Mo, Monie, Momo, Monie Mo. One of my nicknames used to be Lucky because my favorite color was green. So I was like, and I'm sure it's like a little leprechaun. And my dad nickname for me is Buddha. So when people usually hear my dad call me Buddha, they think it's okay for them to do it too. The only person that can call me Buddha is my father. And I think the reason why he calls me Buddha, because he said when I was a baby, like my arms and legs, my arms and legs looked like they had little rubber bands on them. I was so chunky and I looked like a little Buddha. So I got the nickname Buddha. But other than that, I don't get called too many other things. Some people love to call me by my last name. They just call me Miss Loud. What a loud at.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
They love that one. But yeah, I don't have, if it's not like, oh well, you know, my nicknames that my friends call me. PC like to call me Simon. She's the only one that's allowed to call me Simon.
Yeah.
Like some people.
No, I used to call you that
but only
too.
PC is the one that's allowed to do it.
Night.
Yeah, I think that's all the nicknames for me. If they not, you know, related to my first name, then I probably don't have any other nicknames.
Yeah, well, supposedly I've always been doing the call me this or call me that since I was little. Like my mom told me I used to be asked to be called Baby Bop when I was little. So, and it's just funny, like I do it now. Like I'll say, don't call me Yaya, call me Bookie Boo. So when Jordan was little, I used to say, my name is Auntie Bookie Boo. I don't know. And then I always come up with different names for myself. I don't know. I guess it's just something that's true to me. But some names, like I wish I could just tell my cousin to stop calling me Yaki. Maybe she'll hear this.
Right. Like, oh, she don't like that name? So how you been? How you doing since the last episode? You know, it's been 2 weeks, so we got to let the people know a little update.
So within the last 2 weeks, I did a juicing fast.
Ooh.
I started to feel, and I know a lot of people can relate to this because during COVID, a lot of us have been gaining weight.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 more, a lot of us have been putting on weight. And for me, I didn't really notice it because I'm able to work from home. So most times it's party on the bottom, business up top. So I've been wearing my favorite sweatpants at home. And my ultimate favorite is a pair of Victoria Pink sweatpants, and it's a Victoria's Secret medium. And if you know their clothes, it kind of runs a little bit big. So it basically looks like I'm wearing my boyfriend
Oh.
pants around the house. Like my boyfriend is not my size. So I was wearing those and other stretch pants, etc., like leggings around the house. And it finally came time. I don't know if it was like a family gathering at my brother's house, of course, small, COVID compliant, or if it was time to go to work. But in both instances, I noticed I can't button my
Oh,
pants.
wow.
Like, yeah, and I'm comfortable with my sweats and everything, but I could not button my pants. Then my favorite go-to pants were like leggings, but they're like business
Mm-hmm.
pants. I couldn't pull them things up. I got so irritated. I pulled them off and just threw them around the bathroom. Like, oh, I can't put my favorite pants on. I'm getting too big. So a week after that, I finally like it got to the point where I was like, thank God that my shirts are long enough to cover the crotch
Mm-hmm.
area that nobody can see that my pants are not buttoned. So I did a juicing fast, and with that fast, you have to drink more water. So we've been talking about my water intake. I can't tell you exactly what it is. Most days I do drink at least 1 liter of water, and that's a big difference from going for 1 ounce a day to a liter a day.
Not one
That's a big jump
ounce.
for me. So
That's a
yeah.
shot of water.
And then also literally, so even though my weight hasn't really gone down, and I honestly wasn't really looking, or I'm never really big on weight because I always kind of stay within a certain range. I'm big on how I look and how I
Mm-hmm.
feel. And I also noticed because of how I felt, like I was feeling heavier. Like, remember that time I texted you and I was like, I feel heavy when I'm trying to do the kick ups and the
Yeah.
sit ups. It's just too much. Like I didn't I that was a sign for me too. Like I'm out of shape, and two, I'm getting bigger. And I'm not the person who really care for gain, like unhealthy gains. If I gain muscle, fine. If I gain some biceps and triceps and quads, fine. But with gaining unhealthy weight, fat and flabby, I'm not. For me, I don't want that. And then two, my clothes don't want that either, because I'm not trying to spend a lot of money in the stores trying to buy new clothes because I can't fit into
Right.
it. Like I'm buying more snacks, so I'm buying more clothes. Nah, I have to tone down a
Then
little
you're gonna
bit.
at
So
least have to maintain, because if you lose weight, you're gonna still have to buy some more clothes.
right. So I'm good at staying noticing that I can't fit my clothes and then going back down to that size so I could still wear my work pants and just buy clothes if that's out of style, not because I can't fit the clothes. But how are you? How have you been?
I'm good. So since our last episode, I told y'all I had made a promise to myself to read a novel a month. And I've been reading 30 minutes a day. And I am
Oh, good
excited
job.
to announce that I finished my first novel before the end of
Oh,
March. Yes, I finished my
good
first
job.
novel. Super excited. I really enjoyed reading the book. It definitely got me into a mode of being inspired, especially with the message that I've received from the book. The most important to me was that life doesn't stop just because you're going through something, no matter what age you
Aw,
are. Because
right
majority
now.
majority of the characters were in their 60s and 70s, but the book is just basically saying like life continues on. Everybody still goes through something, no matter what phase of your life that you're in. You can still reinvent yourself. You can still be a better person, no matter what happened in your past. You can still become
Right.
anew and live your life to its fullest potential.
Get some new wings.
Exactly. So that definitely sparked some inspiration and some fire in me after reading that. And the next book I'm reading now is Life After Death by Sister Soldier. Just started that one. So that's my new read. We'll see how fast I'll be able to read that one. There's been some mixed reviews on the book.
That's what I was about to ask you. Like, how far did you get, and how do you feel about it? Because I ain't gonna say nothing. Go ahead, you share.
Right, because I know you got it too, but you got to read the coldest one ever first. Even though honestly, I didn't go back and read the first one because for the most part, I remember the story and I don't want to compare the two. Just like how you can't compare movies, like how they try to compare the remake of Coming to America. It's for this day and age. So you can't try to make it seem as if it's taking place in that same point in time. You have to be with, with current time, what's present, unless the book is taking place in the past, So,
well, sorry, let me jump in. I did hear that supposedly, and because I ain't read it, so the first book, the girl went to jail and then she was in jail for 20 something years. So the writer actually let that time lapse by, and now she's, I guess, getting out of jail in the new book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so of course there's going to be a change in time and stuff. But yeah, whenever our book club gets to those books, I'm excited to read it.
Right. So yeah, I'm not too deep into it yet to really give like a full opinion on, oh my gosh, this book is boring. So far, I'm into it. So I'm just gonna see how far I can get into it. But my plan is to finish. I have hope for finishing the entire book for the culture.
Well, you will finish. And I like that you are not being impacted by other people.
Mm-hmm.
In their opinions. I know a lot of people's not judgment, but their opinions of a book and saying, oh, that's corny or whatever, it can impact us, but you're not letting it get to you. That was something that you're interested in and you're sticking to it. So before you talked about the Sister Soldier book, congratulations on reaching your goal before the month actually clears out of finishing your book for the month.
Thank you, darling. And one quick thing about opinions, because somebody did actually post on the picture of my book that I posted, because as soon as I got it on March 2nd, I posted up like so excited. I finally got this book. And somebody gonna comment and basically say, well, I hope you heard that this book ain't that good. And I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm still going to read it. Exactly. It's just, I'm like, it's the same as going to the movies. Just because somebody says it's a bad movie doesn't mean it's going to keep me from watching it.
Right.
I'm still going to read because
I enjoy reading. Because somebody said, I don't like burgers from this place, they ain't going to stop everybody from shopping there.
Exactly. People going to like what they like, love what they love, and do what they want to do. So do you boo.
Boo, boo, yes.
Boo. Period. I don't say that often, but
I don't be saying it really either.
It felt appropriate. Period, poo.
It was.
All right, girl, we done checked in, and are you ready to head on over so I can do this campus rundown?
Go ahead, girl.
All right. All right, y'all know what time it is. I'm going to give you the campus rundown. And in this segment, you know that you can find out every single thing that you can expect on this here episode. First up in our icebreaker, Yaya and I are going to be playing a game of Kiss, Marry, Kill. And if you don't know what that game is, you should definitely tune in because it's definitely going to be a lot of fun and very interesting. And I can't wait to find out what the options are. Next up in Suite 223, Yaya is going to be reciting for us a poem that none of us know about. Something random that she found in her room, and the last one was great, so we can't wait to hear this one. Then we're going to be heading over to the cab to pull up a seat, get a drink, probably eat, because we are going to be talking about the world of dating apps, our experiences with them. Did we like them? Do we not like them? You know, we always got to give our opinion on the do's and the don'ts. And then, of course, we're going over to our dorm story segment to give you some scenarios from the dating app world. Y'all are going to love this. So make sure you tune in so you can get your funny bone kicked in. And then all the way at the end, y'all know we have our community news, our announcement segment, where we always have something for everybody. Okay, girl. Now you ready to get into this icebreaker?
Before we get into this icebreaker,
what?
I had to take myself off of mute because this joke is hilarious. Oh my God, that was so funny.
What'd I do?
It was a character for me. You know, I don't say for me, but it was that for me.
Right. I can't wait till people can actually see us recording.
Oh yeah.
Because they can't see what I'm doing. Only
right.
you do.
Boo boo. All right. Let's get to the icebreaker. All right, y'all. We are about to let loose in our icebreaker segment. Like Simone said, for our icebreaker today, we are doing Kiss, Marry, Kill. Let me open up my notes. All right. So with Kiss, Marry, Kill, if you're not familiar with this game, basically we are both going to name 3 people for one another, and we have to say one person that we would kiss, one person that we will marry, and one person that we will kill. We don't really want to kill this person, but that's how the game goes. You want me to go first? I'll say my list and then you say who you'll kiss, marry, or kill.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's do it.
My cheeks hurt because I'm like smiling so hard. I don't know why.
I feel like you probably gave me some messed up people. All right, come on.
These are the 3 people, and you're gonna tell me who you'll kiss, marry, or kill. Idris Elba, Will Smith, Pharrell Williams.
Oh man, this is hard. It's just
smiling so hard, y'all.
Idris Elba.
You're probably gonna marry
Will
Idris.
Smith. Hush. Pharrell Williams. Ooh, okay. I don't want to spend too much time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I will.
I gave you good choices. So I was gonna give you some ugly muglies.
Right, I really did. I'm gonna kiss Idris Elba, marry Pharrell, and kill Will Smith.
Why are you marrying Pharrell?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You say you're gonna kill Will?
Yes.
Is it because it rhymes?
Yes. Like Kill Bill, Kill Will.
So you know you wanted to kiss Idris, and the other 2 would just fall in the spot.
I just have to fall in the spot because I'm like, Will has had his time. I was like, and I don't know. I really, really love Pharrell's vibe and his music. I'm like, I could live with that.
Yeah,
I could live with his vibe. I wouldn't want to marry Will. I don't want to get entangled, you know. So,
I would marry Pharrell too, because he's really wise. He's seems like a great person to be around. The way people speak about him and the videos that you see, he just like seems like I hate to use this term, but a good vibe. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's super creative. Like, I don't know,
right.
Just I could see that.
And he seems really chill too, like a modern day Russell. Is it Russell Simmons was the brother of Russell Simmons. Like,
I didn't even answer the question, but
like
yeah.
Yeah, like he meditates, he is mad relaxed. Just seems like I would want to be around him.
Saying those vibes.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, I guess my turn. Let me close my eyes.
All right. Listen real good.
I probably don't even know these people you're gonna say.
All right. Kiss, marry, kill. Idris Elba, Justin Timberlake, and Chris Brown.
Dang. Say them again one more time, please. Just one more time.
I was smiling so hard earlier because I'm like, dang, we picked the same person at the top of the list.
I had a feeling of that too. All right, you said Idris, Justin, and Chris.
Yes, Idris Elba, Justin Timberlake, and Chris Brown.
I'm going to kill Justin. I am going to marry Idris and just kiss Chris.
Why you pick him like that?
I'm killing Justin because basically what happened recently, this talk about him giving that fake half lawyer kind of apology to Britney and Janet Jackson. I honestly, if I wasn't reminded of how foul he was to them back in the day, like with his relationship with Britney and how he didn't really apologize or say the quote unquote truth of that it was a mistake what happened with Janet at the Super Bowl, then I probably wouldn't, let that go. But nah.
Dang, was I under a rock? When did this come back up? I don't even remember this being a thing.
Like a few weeks ago, he came out with an apology on his social media. What? Like a half-ass apology.
Dang, I don't be knowing about none of this stuff. I just be in my books reading.
So yeah, that I'll kill him off. I'll only kiss Chris because the history of him with relationships. Mm-hmm. I feel safer with Idris, so I'll marry Idris. But Chris is fine.
Yeah, I almost thought she was gonna kill Chris.
Oh no. I mean, he would have been next because of his history too. But he's fine, so I'll have an entanglement with him, and then I'll get right and be like, all right,
I'm ready to get married.
I'm ready, I'm ready.
We're always singing that.
I know, because I'm always ready. I stay on ready.
Oh my goodness. All right, now you ready to mosey on over to Sweet 223?
Let's do it. Welcome to Sweet 223. This poem is an original piece by me, and I actually have a date on it. So this was written April 21st, 2020, when we were on day one of our Love Loud challenge. It was a time when we were posting challenges on our Instagram page, and I suppose this challenge, every line had to start with an L, the letter L. Of course, this poem doesn't have a title, but this is the poem that I was looking for last time. I found it and I'm going to share it today. Let me love you, if only for one more day. Let me kiss you, in hopes it'll take my pain away. Longevity, that's what our ship of a relation should have. Let me love you for an eternity. It'll last. Lug us through this turmoil that exists. Lie to me not. I can't take any turbulence. Lay here with me and kiss me. Let's work on what we had. Lust me, learn me, love me real bad.
Ooh, I like that. Sweet
Thanks.
with all the L's. And I remember this. This is from the poetry challenge that we had last year from the first day. I think it was 11 lines, 12 lines. I can't remember exactly. It was something like that. But it was every line had to start with an L and had to be, I think, between 10 and 12 lines, something like that.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of entries for that one. I can't wait to see the ones from this year. But anywho, moving right along because we're excited to know about this piece. Let us know, darling, what inspired you other than the fact that it was the challenge?
Right. I think during this time I wasn't in a relationship, but I think I had a situationship going on. And it wasn't one that I wanted something from, but I remember just thinking if there was another chance to do something over, what would that look like? So this poem isn't written for him or talking about him per se, but I remember dealing with him and then trying to use that situation to help gear me and start me off with something. So it's really kind of like a made up situation, but I do remember dealing with somebody and using that for kind of like something to get me jogging with responding to the prompt that was there. And I liked it.
One thing that stood out to me, it was a line that said, longevity, that's what our ship of a relation should have.
That's my favorite one too, yeah.
And I like it because, of course, relationship,
Yes.
but also thinking of a ship. A ship is built for longevity. Like, it has to sustain it being in the water, like going through like different weathers and types of things, withstanding the storm. I don't even know if you was thinking that deep, but that's what I thought when I was thinking. But I'm saying, this art is interpretive. You could have just been thinking relationship. I'm out here thinking like ship in the ocean and beating up against the waves and trying to make it through the storm, like the Titanic. We don't want to sink. We want to. But yeah,
it was actually both though. Because I like to play with words. That's what I say I like to do in my free time, play with words. So I think like with readers or people who have heard certain poems of mine, especially if you're reading it, then it's easier to catch it. But you'll see me taking words apart and rearranging it. Like I always play with the word hourglass instead of HOUR. I'll put our as in yours and mine, glass. But yeah, I love playing with words and taking them apart because it has so much meaning and so much depth if used that way opposed to using the way that it's written.
Yes, love it. The beauty of poetry, ladies and gentlemen, the beauty of poetry.
Wait, let's get into this. this thing was so small, y'all. I got a scarf on my head, a turban on my head, and my bun in the front was flat and small. And now
It's
I guess
growing.
it got to rise out. It got to kick out of my poem that it started getting bigger and bigger.
It was growing with your words.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay, bun bun, settle down, bun bun.
Bun bun. All right, now I'm excited to talk about this next topic, Hunty. So you know what you gotta do to get us through to the other side.
To the other side.
That is not the song.
Hello
From the other side. You sang something different, so I sang something different.
I'm looking around for water. I ain't got no water upstairs. I just finished the last of it. All right, here we go. Hot topics.
Let's do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls, we are going to jump into, actually walk into the cafeteria. Oh, we can jump. We could party on over to the cafeteria.
Turn up in the cab.
We're going to turn up in the caf for today's topic, which is all about dating apps. This should be
apps.
Oh my God. There was no thrill in that at all. I was going to say this should be a good conversation because I don't really know much of your experience with dating apps. I know that you weren't really fond of them at a certain point. This should be interesting because, it's not like dating apps is not like a one fit all kind of situation, or even if it's the same app, like if we're both using the Love Loud app to find somebody, you may like it, I may love it, somebody else may hate it.
Right.
It's all different types of experiences. Or, just because we're on the same app doesn't mean that we are meeting the same type of person or the same person, which will be great.
Right. Hey, filters. That's what they got, the filters. Filters and preferences.
Here we go. Let's jump into it. So I have
real quick though, wait. But wouldn't that be crazy? Like, just to say that we was in the same area on the same app and matched with the same person and didn't know?
Okay, so let's talk about that before we jump into the question, because that's not one of the questions.
It's
But
not.
that actually did happen.
Oh, really?
So for me, I had a situation. This is interesting because we never just randomly come up with question or anything. But I was on the dating app, and myself and another person who we both knew were on the same dating app, and we live in the same city or whatever, and we were having fun with it. Like, okay, we're gonna be on this app. We're gonna match with people. You tell me who you match with, I'll tell you who I match with. So it's nothing funny. And like, we assumed and thought it would be odd if we both match with Timothy and we both like Timothy, and that was up to Timothy's discretion to choose one of us. It would kind of be weird, like we both kissing on Timothy and going to a date and we friends, like we cool. So even to this day, one of my cousins, we tell each other who we matched with. And with me and my cousin, it's been maybe 4 times that we both match with the same person. But like with the screenshot, we'll be like, oh, I'll use Timothy for an example again. Oh, I matched with Timothy, but you could go ahead. Nothing really kicked off. Because, sometimes just because you match with somebody, they may just be sitting there. You ain't never had no conversation or nothing. Or you match, but it really wasn't nothing. So go ahead. Or it might be, oh, I went on a date with him. I'm kind of feeling him. Okay, since you feeling him, I'll fall back. So yeah, I've had it happen several times with that person, that friend, and then my cousin. We matched with people who were this, the same guy, and you just had to choose what's gonna happen. I would think.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Let me not get into more. But yeah, it happens. Shoot.
That's crazy.
But I would say though, it's not wrong to like not say anything, because I would think of it like, if we go to a party, a lot of people would think just because you said, oh, I think that guy over there is cute. And then I look too, I could have been eyeballing him too, but I didn't say anything. or I think he's cute too. But like if he walks over to us and then he says something to me instead of you, am I wrong for taking on his invite? Like just because you said that he was cute too, like we both think he cute. Would you prefer me to not talk to him just because we both think he's hot?
No, because I don't know that man yet. We both thought he was cute. Clearly, he thought you was cuter than me. He was attracted to you, so he wants to talk to you. He wants to talk to me. He would have stepped to me. It's like, take that chance, boo. Go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah.
I'll find somebody eventually.
I don't think like if people are not sharing screenshots or anything like that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because if you never had a conversation and let me know, for example, that you're on Coffee Meets Bagel, I wouldn't have known. So we could have or either way been dating the same guy and not know. Even if it was
Right.
in the streets or in the bar, you might be describing a guy and I might be describing a guy, and then maybe later on I'll show you a picture and you're like, oh, that's the same person that I've been dating. What do you do? So
you know that remind me of?
don't sing the song. No.
Sing.
No. And I was singing that same song too, but we're not gonna sing that song on our podcast. But y'all know what song Monie just sang, but we're not gonna sing that song because I was thinking.
Yeah, I can't at least sing Usher part. All right, it's fine.
All right, so our first question was, have you ever tried dating apps, and what has your experience been, or what was your experience?
All right, so I have tried online dating. I'm currently online dating, and I'm trying my best to enjoy the experience, because in the past it was just something that I was doing. It's like, okay, I'm getting back into dating. Let me just try, to meet people. I'm in a new city, let me see what's popping. But because I have yet to like fully enjoy it, I'm still really, really trying to be open and keep an open mind, because the reason why it seems to be a difficult experience for me is because the dating process online seems to drag. Like you start getting to know someone and you seem like you have a cool connection, you messaging back and forth, and then all of a sudden it goes dead.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be like, what happened? Maybe they just not using the app no more, or they don't get notifications from the app, whatever the case may be. Maybe I thought that we was kicking it off and we really wasn't. Don't know what happened. Whatever, not really tripping. Or you're messaging and it takes so long for somebody to respond. Like, I asked you how your day was 3 days ago.
I was saying the same thing the other day.
Like, technically you can answer how your day is in that 3-day time span, but
that's about Sunday, not Wednesday.
Right. I want to know about Wednesday. I didn't want to know about Sunday, but it's just the process and how long it actually takes to get to know someone, because it already takes a long time to get to know someone in person. Right. So it's like it's an extra step in regards to weeding out all of these profiles to find somebody that you actually think that you could connect with. Let's go past this of being in the app. Okay, now we're either video chatting, talking on the phone, or texting because you have my number now. Okay, when are we going to move forward and actually try to meet in person? It just seems like it's an extra step before actually dating per se. Because before COVID, what I would do is as soon as I match with somebody, I'm like, hey, you want to meet for coffee? That's the first thing I would do, because I enjoy in-person experiences. I'm a people person, and I really don't like text messaging. I've had conversations in the apps where they asking me questions that requires me to write a dissertation. I'm like, this is something needs to be spoken about over the phone. You want my whole life story? I don't feel like writing a book right now. Like, I almost want to send you a link to a blog that'll give you more information, or link to a podcast so you can hear me talk about this for an hour. Right. That's what I don't want to do. But, like I said, I'm trying to be open. I'm trying to enjoy the experience and use it to learn more about people. Since I haven't dated in a while, it's not like I'm gonna find the person that I'm gonna be in a long-term or committed relationship tomorrow. Not necessarily expecting that. But what I'm expecting to do is allow myself to be open to truly understand how to get to know somebody again. So even if we don't kick it off immediately, or nothing comes from it, or we just become friends, we might find out we have something in common, or we hang out at the same place, or like to do the same things, and we end up becoming really cool friends. I'm fine with that too. I just want to make sure that within the experience, I'm not taking it as like, this is bothering me. Oh, this is boring. Oh my gosh, here we go again with somebody not responding. That's the experience that I'm trying to eliminate for myself. So I'm giving it some time. I'm giving it a chance. You know, I'm one to quick to delete it after like 2 weeks. So I'm
Yeah.
like 3 months strong now.
So let me ask you, when you have a match and they are doing what you explained, which is they don't have conversation or they take a long time to respond, do you let them stay for like in your matched area for a long time, or do you give it a certain amount of time of either I'm gonna give this like literally a week or so, or you wait until you feel like, "Oh, I'm not even interested in this person," then you unmatch, or do you just leave them?
Just leave them. I don't unmatch. I don't try to see if they're gonna respond. So I'm like, if they respond, then it'll be a bump to the top. But if they never respond, then it's just a matter of, oh, this conversation is just dead. It's not going anywhere. So I don't even take the time to unmatch with them. It's whatever.
So I tried online dating on and off for several years. I can't remember when the first like what year I got into online dating, but I've met some cool people. One person, no, actually I met a few people in person, but there was nobody I really dated seriously. Um it seemed like all the way from Tinder through Hinge, all of my encounters with people had been they joined the app because they had a recent breakup, so they were looking for like a rebound person. Um, People were saying, "Oh, I got bored, so I made a profile on the app." People are not looking for anything serious, and that's not to say like as soon as I match with you, I think that you're gonna be my boyfriend or my husband, but it's like I'm on here to date, which means I'm on here to find out some information about you, like who are you, what you're interested in, what your goals are, etc. Because instead of meeting you at, I'm not the person to go to a bar, but instead of meeting you at the bar, I'm meeting you on here. And then I'm learning from you here. So then we can go out of here to meet in person. So they're not looking for anything serious. Just what you said, they don't know how to hold conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have people who move too fast and want to rush into something, which I learned is a turnoff. Like I thought I would want somebody who knows what they want automatically, but you don't know that you want me. Like stop calling me
You just
bae.
met me.
Stop calling me bae or love or queen on the that's such a turnoff on the first day. Like, bro, let me earn those nicknames, please. And then the funny thing is the people who it seemed like I was hitting things off with were already taken. Like the last
Mm.
person who I went out on a few dates with and was talking to a lot of times, he already had a girlfriend situation going on. But as far as like recent experience or now, I deleted my apps. I don't know if it was late February or early March. I just got tired of swiping and liking people's profiles, and I just grew bored of it. And I noticed it was a distraction as well in work.
Mm-hmm.
Like whenever I'll type one sentence for my progress notes for work, then I'm swiping until I get bored. And I found myself, all right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, like counting down to
Oh
how
my
many more
goodness.
likes and it was just that, like, it was just like I'm not matching with anybody who's interesting or giving conversation or, or just not bored. Like somebody who has common interest with me. It was just, so this isn't me saying it's dead to me. Like if I don't end up finding someone or getting into a relationship between now and boredom strikes, I can't give a specific time period. I would get back on the apps, but for now I'm cool off of it.
Yeah, another thing too that I just thought about as far as like messaging back and forth on the dating app, you don't know how people are thinking. Like I could be messaging a guy and it's me like asking all the questions first, but he don't know like, all right,
That's
I'm
so
just if
annoying. That's
I
so
don't want to
annoying.
be he don't know that I don't want to be the one to continue to like push this conversation forward, or like a guy could be communicating with a girl via app and he could be feeling like I don't want to be the one to keep moving this conversation forward. I feel like it should feel as seamless as possible to have back and forth conversation, even if it's just a text message. So I feel like it shouldn't be difficult to hold a conversation, like, and but then also with that you have to know how to ask open-ended questions so you don't get something that's like a yes or a no. Some people don't know how to ask questions, which is why the conversations don't move forward. So you have to know how to continue conversations, but even in that,
Right,
the conversation can still be boring.
right.
But that's just something that I had thought about. You have to ask certain questions to get people to possibly respond the way that you would like them to.
Mm-hmm. All right. So with dating apps, there are more that exist than I even knew. But the dating apps, they're not all the same. They all have different construct or different features, things that make them unique. So what are either what's your favorite dating app, or what features stand out the most or the best to you? Girl, so before you answer, it's hot outside. It's starting to warm up over here. And you can tell, like, you remember when you were here and your friend, my neighbor, your friend,
Yes.
he outside singing. So
you know it's warming up.
So you know it's warming up. So if you hear somebody singing, that's my Spanish neighbor, y'all.
Oh my goodness.
All right, go ahead, girl.
All right, but to answer your question, I honestly haven't tried many apps. And the ones that I have tried in the past, I really don't remember. But I've recently started using Hinge and Coffee Meets Bagel. I have used Tinder in the past. I don't even really remember much about it other than swiping left and right in that fire icon. Like that's
the fire icon
or orange icon. You know what the icon for the Tinder app look like? Ain't it white with the fire?
I thought it was like you can give a fire if you really like them or something.
Oh girl, I don't know, maybe like a super like or something, but I'm literally talking about like the icon for the
I remember that. I know now.
That's what I'm saying. It might have changed by now. I ain't using it so long. Ooh, it made me feel old. Anywho, so I'm just gonna compare like my experiences between Coffee Meets Bagel and Hinge. I personally prefer Hinge over Coffee Meets Bagel because of the layout. It's just the way that it looks. It's real clean. It doesn't seem like it has a lot going on. It makes it easier. It makes it easy when you're looking at, someone's picture and how it's mixed in between with like a picture and then their information and then their picture and then more information, opposed to all their pictures being at the top and you swiping at the top and you're swiping through all of their pictures and then scrolling down to the bottom to read
to find the information.
Right, you have to look for the information. So the way that Hinge has it set up, it's almost like I'm reading a book. Like I get a picture, I get to read some details. I see a picture, I get to read an answer to an interesting prompt. So, and then especially with the prompt is another reason why I like Hinge. Also, it makes it easier to set up my profile and give like an interesting insight into who I am and give something for somebody else to like other than my pictures. Give them something else to comment on. I like when I do like match with someone or someone likes me, but they're responding to something that I said on my profile opposed to just liking my picture because they thought I was cute. So then that also helps to engage in conversation. The prompts help to initiate some type of interaction. Now, the reason why I don't like Coffee Meets Bagel, it seems as if it's forcing me to be on the app every day because of these beans that they have that I'm earning every time I go on the app, because I need beans to like people. Because I know for a fact the suggestions that I get on Coffee Meets Bagel, I don't be liking none of them. I be like, I feel like I have better options on Hinge. Like being on Coffee Meets Bagel, I'm like, how much do I need to adjust my preferences? I'm like, clearly the same people that's on Hinge are not on Coffee Meets Bagel. They just not on there. They don't know what this app is. They've never been on it. I'm just like, the options are real slim, at least where I am on Coffee Meets Bagel. And then the beans are just weird to me. Coffee Meets Bagel, I need better suggestions. I've tried changing my filter several times. I don't know what else to do, but I might just delete the apps because Coffee Meets Bagel makes it feel like I'm being super picky, and I don't feel like I am. But that's probably why I still have all my beans, because I haven't used them on nobody. Got plenty of beans. Like, can I pass my beans along to somebody else that might really need them? Like, can we trade beans? Like, you might need some beans. I really like this guy. Can I borrow 500 beans? I don't know if that's a thing, but I feel like I wish I could share my beans.
Share my beans. Don't you leave. You know that Mary J. It's Share My World.
Share my world.
Share my beans.
But yeah, that's the only two apps that I can remember using because I'm using them right now. And it's more than just swiping back and forth. Like I actually get to like look through their profile and get to know them a little bit. But I like Hinge. I like Hinge.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff I was trying to hold back while you were speaking because I feel the same way. So there's like several dating apps that I've tried. The
Mm-hmm.
most enjoyable, same as you, is Hinge. Because I felt like it mirrored Instagram.
Hmm.
The way that it, like, you just scroll, like you scrolling on Instagram, you just scroll up or scroll down, however you want to say, looking at somebody's profile. And they had the pictures. You have to upload 6 pictures or video on your page and then
Mm-hmm.
add prompts. And with the prompts, it helps you to add a fun fact about yourself or some interest that you have. And you could be as silly as you want to be with the prompts. You could be as serious. And what I mean is, I don't have an example of like how silly. So whatever your whatever your imagination leads you to for the prompts, how silly you want to be. But some people will put like like what their intentions are on a page. Like, I'm looking for, or like my profile if you are looking for marriage too. Or some people, like one person I ran into, I had, like, I saw the profile, I didn't like the profile, but it said one thing you should know is, and then he put, I'm poly. So if you're not interested in polygamy, then you wouldn't like that. But some people might like it because they might not know what poly means. They might think, oh, poly, he got a parrot, poly wants a cracker.
Oh my gosh. I love parrots.
Right, I love Paris. He's poly. Oh, that's cute. But yeah, I just love the layout of the profile. I forgot this earlier, but when you were talking about the fire from Tinder,
Mm-hmm.
um, they have roses. So you get, this is all crazy. Okay, so now you get a certain amount of likes from Hinge now. Like, they used to have it unlimited, like you could just swipe or whatever, or XXX, however much you wanted to before. But now it's limited. They're like, oh, you're out of likes for today, but you have one rose. And I guess the rose means that that person that you're really interested in, and they even have a rose page. I guess it's like whoever you might be most incompatible with, or whoever might like really spark your interest. You can give them one role that you have to earn. But before, okay, so when my cousin joined Hinge, I was like, why you got people of all nationalities, all heights, all uh freaking educational background, like all this, like this is not, you wouldn't even be interested in. It's like, why do you change your filter? And she was so confused on what I meant. But for me, I had, like I said, I have this habit of deleting and then remaking profiles. So
Mm-hmm.
I deleted my profile where I was able to say if I liked only black guys or only white guys or only Indian guys, um, how tall they had to be, their religion, the children preference. Do I want a guy with children or without children? The range, the mileage from my house, educational background, like all, like be specific. And then some things you have to pay for. And then there was unlimited swipes. But now, I guess because since COVID hit, a lot more people are on dating apps, so they changed the preferences that now you have to, those things that I have free that I shouldn't have deleted my profile. You now have to pay to be able to do those things. But Hinge is my top favorite. With Coffee Meets Bagel, I was introduced to Coffee Meets Bagel because somebody posted something on the Instagram story, and I forget what the thing was, but I remember responding to it saying, oh, I'm gonna have to order me a boyfriend off of Amazon. And she was like, why? And I was like, because I can't find, like it's hard to find somebody who kind of like clicks with me or is a good match with me. So she was like, "Oh, I met my boyfriend on Coffee Meets Bagel. You should try it." And it's funny, like you would never think other people are, or as many people are on these apps as they are, but it seems like a lot of people are having hits off of these apps. So anyway, I downloaded the app, and I felt like Coffee Meets Bagel is an app for people who are taking it more seriously, people who are really trying to find something on there because, like you mentioned, the beans.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you either have to buy beans or you have to earn beans. So with the beans, basically, if it costs 754 beans to like somebody and you only have 2,000 beans, you can't willy-nilly, that's not even a word, but willy-nilly be up there liking and swiping on people's apps. It's like, oh, I only got 2,000. Which two am I willing to bet these beans on? You can't, or you just gotta wait until the next day. But then again, it's a gamble because the next day that person profile may not be on
Right.
the list.
Never see him again.
Right. But then too, I agree, coffee meets bagel, it showed too much. Like you can look at so many people's profile and keep looking at it however long until it goes away. But then you say, okay, next, and then you probably won't see that person's profile again. So it was a lot to look on for coffee meets bagel. But the highlight, let's go back to the highlights. The highlight of it is when you match with somebody and that person likes you too, you have up to a week or so to get your conversation going and to exchange numbers or to do something before the chat expires. Once it expires, you either asked out or you have to spend more coffee beans in order to extend the chat. So it might be like 25 or 100 or probably the value of the person. I don't know how they choose it. But you basically, in order to get more time, if you didn't exchange information beforehand, you have to spend basically some money. So that's why I feel like for the free apps, this is something that people are taking more seriously because you can't just do things willy-nilly. Willy-nilly.
Here you go again.
The first app that I ever tried was Tinder. That's the first app that I ever learned about. I can't recall that either. Like you said, I can't recall too much from it, but I do recall meeting this guy. And he was only on there really because he had a breakup, so he was using it as a rebound kind of thing. And at that time, I didn't know that Tinder was a app that was used primarily for hookups, or that's what the word on the street was, that a lot of people used Tinder for hookups. So after I learned that, and then honestly, I wasn't really getting what I wanted from that app, I deleted it and I never looked back since then. This was like a long time ago. But I did hear recently that some people use Tinder for platonic relationships, like friendships or acquaintances and stuff. So, for example, if I'm moving from Atlanta and I'm going to Texas or something, I might use Tinder or another app to find people in that area so then I can be associated with some people in some type of way before I move down there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, other than that, since COVID, or probably just precautions in general, they have now added a feature for Tinder that allows you to do background checks on people.
What?
Yeah. So I want to know, before I get into the next app, what are your thoughts on that?
Like out of all the apps, Tinder is the one that's doing the background
Tinder's the
checks.
one doing background check. So you can find out like if there's any criminal history or anything like that. You can do a background check on a person.
I mean, I can see why people would want to do it, but I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't snoop into somebody's past. I would just allow them to give me the information that I need to know about them. Granted, there are some things that you may or may not know until you've known somebody for quite some time. But I don't think that it's something that you should do, or at least something that you would talk about. Maybe both of y'all getting background checks on each other and learning about information. But is it set up to where like you getting a background check and that person don't know, or does that person know you got a background check on them?
I guess the person don't know.
See, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't get a background check behind somebody's back. Not at all. I see. No, I have no interest in doing that. If I gotta go behind your back to find out some information, then I probably shouldn't be kicking it with you.
Yeah. So I thought the same thing. I think that's kind of creepy because I don't know like all that entails. I should have looked it up, but I don't know what like you're learning from the background check. But it's a good safety precaution because if you want to steer clear of somebody who may potentially be a murderer or a sex offender or something like that, then you're getting that information prior to going. Now, I guess because there's been so many incidents where people were hurt during dates where they met somebody through these dating apps. So I guess that's their safety precaution that they're trying to put out there. But along with that, that's like while I'm talking, I don't know if this is a therapist in me or what, but like, that's discriminatory. Like, you're discriminating on me just because this background check says that I've been incarcerated for a certain amount of time, but you don't know if that was because I didn't pay my taxes or because I didn't give my wife alimony, like somebody alimony, or if I did murder somebody. Like, that's like, get to know who I am and not my past kind of thing.
Exactly. I was just going to say something similar to that, as far as like even jobs do background checks. But if you do have something on your background that needs an answer to, they ask you, like, if X, Y, and Z is on your record, what happened? Why is this on your record? And you can explain.
Yeah.
And then somebody only do it between like a certain amount of years. But I'm like, even then, if you're going to do a background check on someone and it has something on there, give them the time to at least explain what that is, because what you thinking may not even be exactly what is on there, let people tell their story.
Right. Okay. So the last one is, or the last one that I have, because there are so many other apps. Like, first one that comes to my mind is Grinder, because I keep getting texts. I don't know who is using my phone number for
Oh my
Grinder.
gosh.
Like, bro, like, oh my God, it's so annoying. But there are different types of dating apps out there. But the last one that I did try was Bumble. It was cool while I had it. With Bundle, the women, for them, get to initiate the conversation. So if I match with Ted cannot say anything to me until I start the conversation with Ted. I'm not sure how it works with people of the same sex, like a man and a man, woman and a woman, because obviously they're both the same sex. So how do they choose who starts the
Right.
conversation? But for heterosexuals, the woman starts the conversation, and when starting the conversation, you can either use their prompts, which could be a question or a game. So I know for me, one time I used one of their prompts, which was I think it was like, who is your celebrity crush? So I used that to start a conversation. I think they also have like two truths and a lie. So it's kind of like Hinge in that way, with using a prompt to start the conversation. Or you can use your own question or just say hello. It's up to your discretion. But girl, tell me why one guy, I did the who is your celebrity crush, and I answered for mine, and then this guy gonna say me.
Himself?
Yeah, I was like, what?
Ew.
Like, that's so vain. Okay. Why would you even say yourself, sir? I
Moving
love
right along. This
myself.
conversation is
But that's
over.
not answering the question. Give it a try anyway. Obviously nothing came of that. But with all of these apps, at least these, I'm not sure about Tinder either, but Hinge, Coffee Meets Bagel, Bumble, they, since COVID, have initiated the phone call and video chat in the apps themselves. So beforehand, you would have to exchange phone numbers in order to talk on the phone or video chat if you have that access on your phone. But since COVID, and I guess for safety precautions, they added that, which is great. I haven't used it, but it's good if you don't want to all willy-nilly give
Give
your
out your
phone
number.
number, yeah, to any and everybody. Because with phone numbers too, it can be kind of scary. Like, my phone number is attached to a lot of things: my car, my address, my family members, a lot of things. You can find out so much stuff from a person's phone number, and other things. So you might not want to just give your phone number to anybody.
I just be thinking, block.
Yeah. You can
If I don't like you, block. I ain't got to deal with it no more.
right. You can do that too. All right. So with the dating apps, we know that all of them, you share pictures, videos, or and some basic information about yourself. How do you go about choosing what you're sharing on these profiles?
So when I choose my pictures, I make sure that every single picture I have a different hairstyle, just so the person looking at my profile knows I like to switch up my hair. Like, I'm always going to look just a tad bit different based on my hairstyle, but it has nothing to do with my face. It's the same person. I'm just changing my hair. It's a part of my personality. That's what I
Wait,
like to do.
when you say you change the pictures, you mean you have like different pictures of you with different hairstyles, or you oftentimes keep changing your pictures on your
No,
profile?
all the pictures on my profile have a different hairstyle.
Okay, got you.
And then also with that, in addition to that, I share a picture of something that I love doing. whether it's like me podcasting or dancing or something like that. I have a picture showing something I love to do, reading, something like that. I have to have at least one picture where I have no makeup on because I'm not scared. Okay.
Yeah.
Bare face, all natural. This is what you get. And then I also have at least one full body. I'm a real person. This is how tall I am. How you doing? Just so they can get a full spectrum of how I look, get a bit of my personality, and there'll be no surprises if they do actually get the opportunity to see me on camera or meet me in person. Because most likely my hair will look nothing like it does online. But I try to make sure at least one of those pictures is what my current hairstyle looks like, in addition to all the other ones. And then as far as the information that I choose, I decide based on what the app offers. So like with the prompts, I try to choose some fun ones to give a little insight into who I am. So I enjoy like Two Truths and a Lie. I know Hinge has one asking about love languages or questions about like something you regret or the best trip you've ever taken. And then I also like to include things that I guess want the other person to reflect to in regards to thinking about dating at all, whether they have kids. Well, I want to say more specifically in regards to whether or not they have kids and whether or not they have like a spiritual belief. Because if you have atheists on your profile, I don't know what that entails.
Right.
I don't know what that entails. Because somebody put they were spiritual, but they were also atheists. Like, to me, you sound confused. I feel like
because atheists don't believe in spirits.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, they sound confused. How can you believe in spirituality but also be an atheist? No,
they don't
thank
know
you.
the meaning of obviously.
So it is also it annoys me a little bit when people don't put on their profiles things that you know people want to know. Like, why are you not putting on there that you got kids and you got 3 of them?
Right.
Definitely some people will pass your profile because you have kids, but there's some people who won't. But I feel like don't waste people's time having to find out over time that you actually do have kids when you can just tell them from jump on your profile. It's not like people necessarily have anything against kids. They probably just have the mindset, like some people do, to want to start their own family and not date anybody that has kids or doesn't want to be with someone that's a different religion than them, or don't want to be with someone because they choose to be a part of a specific political party. Who knows? I just feel like some things that people decide to hide, it's going to come out at some point. And if the person doesn't want to engage in that, you're going to end up not interacting anymore anyway. Just put it on there.
Yeah. See, that's why I like the old preferences, because you can choose that, like, and say, do you want somebody who has kids? Do you want somebody who, like, are you strict with this religion or this political party, etc.? Like, but now you can't do that. So you really don't know. Because that's what it came up to my cousin. Like, she's one of the persons who wants to date somebody who doesn't have kids, who's Christian based, equally yoked, like her. And now with people being quote unquote stingy on the profiles, like even as far as smoking, like it may not be me saying I don't want a smoker, but it's me like I can't be around smokers because it's not good for me. Like I had surgery on my lungs or something like that. So I need to know. I was kind of honestly, I was thinking while you were speaking, like, is that discrimination too? But it literally is a dating option.
Right. It's
Like,
what you want. That's your preference. Hence the term preference on the profile.
yeah, that's true. Because that would be wasting time. Like, I didn't want anybody with kids, and like, yeah, I'm vibing with you on everything, but now, no, that's like I'm legit sticking to the fact that I'd rather be with somebody who doesn't have kids than to be with somebody who does have kids.
I went on a whole date once with a guy after we had met. I can't remember which app it was. I think this probably was Tinder back when I used it, but whatever. That's not important. What's important is we went on the date. It was cool or whatever. And I didn't know until after we went on the date and we were talking that he finally brought up the fact that he had a daughter. But the daughter was like in another state and he moved to like make a better life for his daughter, make more money, blah, blah, blah. He's trying to do the right thing. Didn't have no problem with that. But when I let him know, like, hey, we've been vibing, it's cool, but I don't want to take this any further or waste your time because I don't want to date anybody that has kids. And he's like, well, what you got against kids? I have nothing against children. Calm down.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing against you having a child. I have nothing against children. I love children. I just prefer when I'm dating, since I'm dating intentionally and I plan to start my own family, I don't want to join one. I prefer not to date men with kids. At some point that may change, but as of right now, that's not what I want. And you just have to respect that. And he was mad about that for a while. I ended up having to block him because
Oh my
he kept trying
God.
to say, and I was like, we can be friends, like we can be cool. It wasn't as if we didn't have like any sexual interactions or anything like that. Like it was nothing super tied to the relationship that we had. We could have easily been friends. Like we cool. But you keep wanting to press this issue about you want to get to know me better and you want me to get along with your daughter. And I'm like, we're not going to be in a
Oh
relationship.
my
I'm
God.
sorry, it's not happening. Somebody will though. It's just not me.
He really liked you. And his response to you showed why he doesn't have that on his profile, because he was afraid that sharing the truth of him having a child will turn people away. And also, I always feel like people who don't share that on their profile in some kind of way are probably people who aren't like the primary care for the child. So I wasn't surprised when you said the daughter wasn't in the same state, because I feel like with a father who is in their child's life, they're, even if it's not on their profile, they're gonna say it's gonna come up in conversation even before, like, well, unless you're going on a date the same day or not long before y'all match, but within the first few conversations it's going to come up, because they always say a parent is always going to mention their kid, even if the conversation is not directed around the kid. Like you could say, oh yeah, I got this pink flower, and you be like, they'll be like, oh, my daughter loves pink flowers, for example. It's gonna come up, it's gonna come out, unless he's trying to
Right.
hide
A
it.
child isn't something to hide. It's something to be proud of. That's your flesh and blood.
Right. All right, so for me, unless I'm given a prop, I share information that's really vague. I used to be like specific. Hey, I'm looking for X, Y, and Z. This is my final goal. I'm trying to hit this, but I was told that can come off aggressive and turn people away. So I've started to become vague in my answers. Not like a lying vague, but basically going back to, I don't want to give my blueprint vague.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say I want a man who's charming, a man who knows how to hold conversation, a man who is witty. I can't think of something else right now. It's hard to think on my feet. But and then you play like that, or like a man who texts me every day. You're generally not that person who texts every day, but now you're doing it because I put in my profile I want that, and then now we hit it off, and then all of a sudden you start to get comfortable, you starting to fall back off of that because that's not who you really are.
Or turned into Play-Doh all of a sudden. No,
Right.
be you. If that's not what you do, then that's not what you do.
Right.
I mean, it's a difference between like getting to know someone and doing something for them because you know that makes them happy, opposed to doing something because, well, that's just what they want me to do, so I'm gonna do it.
Right. Your face.
Because at first I was thinking in my head, like, did that come out right? Did
No, yeah, it came out great. So that relates to the reason why I prefer Hinge, because um the prompts kind of assist you with leading or having a conversation, opposed to how do I start a conversation with this person who I like, quote unquote, because they look good in their picture. Like, do I say, hey, you look good? Do I say hi? Like, because even if you just say hi, they might say hi back. What do you say next? So
exactly.
with the prompts, it assists you in the conversations. So for the pictures or videos that I choose to display, I like to put up whatever's in my favorite album at that time. Um, and then I also like to have a different array of pictures. So, like you said, I have pictures that's close up to my face, because I tend to take selfies. But then I also have at least one full body, so you can kind of know, because people have that running joke of, oh, she only taking a picture of her face. She must be this or she must be that. No, this is what I look like. Because I don't want anything to come off and you say I'm catfish. And that also goes for my hair, right? So when I first had these profiles, I was wearing wigs all of the time, and some people may not want somebody who's bald because that's their preference. That's their preference. I mean, let's be real. So when I went bald, I was like, oh dang. Now I gotta change my pictures. Not all of them, because I don't, I'm gonna wear my wigs sometimes or whatever. But if it's 6 pictures, I'll at least have 3 with me how I look now, and 3 with me how I look when I wear the wigs. And I'm gonna say I was nervous because at that time I had already had matches, but I was like, I still don't want to be deceitful in any type of way, come off as catfish. So I put it on there. They still have the option to unmatch. And yeah, I was surprised. Like a lot of people are feeling me with the haircut, but
because it looks good. That's why, because
I
it looks good.
I still have my days. Like before today, I was like not feeling myself. I'm like, oh my god, I look funny with this bald head. But whatever. All right, so let's mosey on over to our next question. Have you ever met a match in person or go on any dates? We kind of touched on this a little bit regarding me, so you go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I did. Aside from the one that I mentioned, the guy with the kid, I have gone on dates, but I've literally only gone on like one. I can't remember actually meeting someone on a dating app and going on multiple dates. So it's been a while since I've actually matched with somebody and gone on a date. But like I said earlier, when I did match, my thing is to, if we match, let's just meet. Why waste time? Let's meet for coffee. Let's meet for a drink somewhere where there's a lot of people and I
No,
can
that's
leave when I
right.
want to.
Witnesses.
I have the option to leave when I want, and it's good to go, because the interaction as far as like being in the app is different than talking to them in person. Like me messaging one person in the app, they was cool with them. I met them for a drink and they would not stop talking.
Girl.
It was like I wasn't even there. And I was like,
you told me about that.
It's like I was just sitting there watching TV. I'm sipping my drink. He just talking. I couldn't get up. It would be like really? Wow. I heard about that. It was just me chiming into his whole conversation. I never hit him back up. There was no reason for me to. I didn't want to hear nothing else. Like, and then he had the nerve to text me later and tell me how I had nice lips.
What?
Glad you enjoyed your evening. Mine sucked.
Oh my god, I can't imagine. That would be so annoying for me.
Like that, I think that's only happened to me like twice, where I sat across from a guy and all he did was talk about himself without even realizing that I never got a word in. You found out nothing about me.
You were just a prop.
I was just a prop. I was just at the table. And he was looking at me and talking. That's crazy. I couldn't imagine doing that to somebody, like not fully engaging in a conversation. I was like, I can't imagine you in a relationship. Like, how would you even get to that point?
Right.
You want somebody that'll never talk.
I can't.
Oh man, but yeah, I prefer in-person interactions. Can't wait till I'm able to do that again.
Right.
But I have been opting in for video chats and phone calls. And like I said, I am not afraid of the block button. If we might hit it off and we might be cool, and then at some point you might just piss me off or get on my nerves, or it's just not vibing like that no more, and I have no choice but to block you. Yeah. Folks get crazy. Sometimes I can just delete the number and it'd be a done deal. Other times you have to like block. I had to block somebody because I can't remember what he was asking me, but he was getting on my nerves, and I kept telling him to stop asking me. No, it's not happening. And then he just became an irk in my brain. So I had to block him completely. I'm surprised he didn't try to find me on social media, because he was kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's another thing that your phone number could be attached to too. It kills. Side note, it kills me when people still have their phone number. They probably don't know, but the phone number's in the profile on Facebook. When you look for about, I'll be like,
oh wow, I didn't know that was the option.
Yeah, that's from like when back in the day when we set the profile up and it never came off. So friends, I like hit up like, hey, your whole phone number is on Facebook. Take that off or whatever. So they're like, oh my god, thank you. Yeah, take it off. Somebody warned me, so I'm gonna help my friends. Somebody scratch my back, I'm gonna scratch theirs.
Scratchy.
So for me, I've been on a few dates, but always prior to my dates, I have FaceTimed the person prior to, just to make sure that it's valid, like it's not a fake profile. Um, and then also for those dates, I've linked up with them on my own, like me getting there by myself. Like I never gave my address for them to come pick me up or anything. It's like, oh, we're gonna go to um this restaurant at this time. Okay, meet you there. See, can't wait to see you or whatever. Some of the dates ended up being enjoyable, but some people, they just don't click. Sometimes the dates have been planned, and then something happens between the time of that setup date to the date time, date time, the date time, that's like, yeah, we this. I'm not a person who is gonna go for free meals. I can't sit there and put on an act like I'm happy or anything like that. Like if I'm not feeling you, I'm not feeling you. Like I'm literally on these apps to date, not to get fed that night. But I think it's important to go on and, like you said, meet in person at the coffee shop, whatever the date is going to be, coffee shop, activity, I said Barnes, it could be Barnes and Nobles, Dave and Buster's, whatever that, out to eat, something to find out if that spark is real. Because you can have a spark with somebody through text message all you want, but you get on the phone with them and they dry. Or you have a spark with them on a phone call, they get on FaceTime, and either you see that they house a mess, or like they unkept, or they, I don't know, it's something to turn off for you. Or that could be perfect too. FaceTime is perfect, but then they act like a totally different person in person, or it's just like, that was it for me. Like we just not clicking. So it's
Right,
level
because some
two.
people just be dating just to be dating. Like they're not dating
Serial
intentionally,
daters.
like to be with somebody. Right. I saw a post the other day. This girl was like, I can't wait. It's basically something along the lines of like not being able to wait for her next relationship because she know that it's gonna be better than the last one she had. So that person gonna have to step it up because her last relationship, she was taken on picnics and she was loved really hard. And it was just, she basically was describing like a beautiful relationship. And then somebody commented and was like, okay, well then why y'all not together? And she was like, he was ugly. I was trying something new.
What?
And I was like, yes. So you was in this
I
full-blown
was trying
relationship with
something
this
new.
man, trying something new, in this full-blown relationship with this man who was probably falling in love with you if he wasn't already in love with you, whining and dining you and giving you everything that you desired. And in the end, you broke up with him because he was ugly. You didn't know he was ugly before you started dating him?
That's messed
You were just
up.
dating. I was trying something new. Trying something new. And that's what people have to deal with. And I feel like when it comes to online dating, that's what some people fear. Wasting their time. That's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. Having their time wasted. I mean, you don't know, but you don't want it to happen
Right.
either. So it makes you real hesitant in regards to getting to know people.
Sure. Well, let me say, I would hope that nobody's gonna be trying something new with me. Like, of course, I'm gonna be a new experience and stuff, but like, that's hurtful. Oh, like to think that you liked me, you were interested in me, you thought I was beautiful, etc. But then later on, the reality is you really didn't think that, you were just saying that, like, because you were trying something new.
Let me try this out and see if I like
Bro,
it.
I am not a sample at Walmart or Target or at on your entree. Like,
Like, no,
no,
that's so hurtful. And that I think
that is.
that's in this dating world, that's unfortunately a norm.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right. So the next question is asking, before dating apps were quote unquote a thing or made popular, did you ever date or meet anyone online? That can be like the AOL chat groups, MySpace, Facebook, anything, like before dating apps were a thing.
So at first, when I was thinking about this question, I thought I hadn't. But then I realized when I was in your face,
Like,
like what?
what happened?
I realized before moving to LA for my master's program, I was in a group for people that were moving to LA that needed roommates.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I met one of my good girlfriends. Shout out to Pally, my South African queen. We had never seen each other in person, and we literally met through engaging online, trying to find a roommate. We never actually became roommates, but when she touched down in LA and we met for the first time and went and got something to eat, we hung out for a few hours. Like, this is like one of my true A1 since day one. Like, it was one of the best times I had ever had. And then, like, a couple of weeks after we had met for the first time, I needed a place to stay because I didn't really know anybody in LA yet. I needed a place to stay because my apartment was being, like, what is it called? Not fumigated, whatever. They had to bomb the place. Mm-hmm. And she let me stay with her. So I was like, yes, that was my real one. My ace boon coon when I was in LA. Shout out to her. And that's the only relationship that I can think of before, like, dating apps became a thing. That's the only one, though.
Okay. For me, I remember meeting two people through Instagram. And these were, well, one person I actually ended up dating for a while. The other person, it was just, we linked up, nothing hit from it. Found out he had a girlfriend anyway. Oh, I know people who got girlfriends like me. Anyway, but before the whole Instagram thing, I had Facebook, and the reason why I joined Facebook is because my cousin was like, oh, you coming to CAU next year, you need to make this app. And I was like, I don't want, like, MySpace is fine. I don't want a Facebook. I'm okay with MySpace.
Look, MySpace, like,
no.
Gone.
Right, right. It's like, no, Facebook is where it's at. This is where everybody at. You're going to meet CAU people or whatever. So I did that. Like, I met people who were already at Clark Atlanta or on their way to Clark Atlanta. So it was a way to find friends before meeting or making friends, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. To be honest, it was a little weird and awkward. Like, I remember running into a few people in the cafeteria, and they're like, oh, Unique, right? And I was like, what the fuck? Like, how do you know my name? Like, what the heck is going on? Yeah, we talked on the instant message, whatever it was called on Facebook, when you talk to people. Facebook chat or whatever it's called. And I was like, I think probably the Yaya at that time probably was like, oh yeah, whatever, and then went back to the room. Was like, oh, I had to read the whole script, like what we were talking about on there. So it was kind of strange, but it's kind of cool at the same time, because I do know I used it going forward to meet people, or whenever a new freshman, when I was a sophomore only. Like, I didn't do that as an upperclassman, but whenever people would ask questions, I'll be happy to answer the questions about CAU and stuff. There was something else that I was thinking about, but I can't remember. But anywho, I'll just go on to say that prior to Facebook and Instagram, I had friends in high school, and then friends in college too, who met people via AOL or IM, Black Planet, whatever, like the popular chat rooms. There was also like this phone call, like this hotline people used to get on. I can't remember what that was called. I like when I like can only mean one thing. They would meet people through that, and they'll say, oh, that's their boyfriend or that's their boo or whatever. And I thought that was so weird. Like, how are you in a relationship with somebody, or you like somebody who you ain't even meet? Like, to me, meeting means face to face, hanging out with in person. Like, you didn't even meet anybody yet, and that's your boo. But now I think it's funny because now I'm doing it. It's not in the same way, but through dating apps, I've had experience with meeting people through dating apps and gaining interest in people through dating apps. And, the more we talk about dating apps, you find out it's really the new norm. Like, a lot of people are doing these dating app things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Very true.
So what I think is crazy when coming up with this question, the way I worded it, before dating apps were a thing or made popular, that's what it started off with, right? So I never knew that so matchmaking dates back to 1959.
1959? So
Yeah, so basically eHarmony has all the details and information. If you want more information, you can go to eharmony.com and check that out. Basically, there were two college students and they wanted to do an experiment. So they had the scantrons and people filled out questions. It didn't say what the questions were or anything, but I'm assuming like what their interests are, what they're looking for, etc. And then they use that to match people. And then in 1998, that's when AOL, MySpace bulletins, Craigslist ads got popular, and a lot of people were using those to meet people. And they said there was a a popular couple, Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks. They found love through AOL, and it was a show called You've Got Mail. I don't remember that show, but
no, that's a movie.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So from that movie that was popular or made popular to try to help people feel comfortable or normalize finding love online or through certain types of media. So that was in 1998, and then sometime later there came some different dating apps. So this stuff dates back to even before I even knew what it meant to like a boy. Or to like anybody. So it's not a new thing or made popular. It's just something that I'm learning about.
Yeah, that's interesting information. I had no idea that matchmaking started back in 1959.
Yeah.
Shoot, that was before my parents were born.
Yeah. Well, that was a good hot topic. I don't have any other questions for you, but like I said, I knew that at a certain time you were not interested in the dating app. So now I know that you are. And like we said, there are people who are on here intentionally dating. Some people are on these apps just trying to sell t-shirts and some artwork. Some people just trying to have a rebound situation going on. But don't be shy to, say what your truth is of why you're on these dating apps, because you will get your time wasted. And if you're not on there for that, then don't shoot yourself in the foot. You want to kiss and marry yourself, not shoot. All right, girl. So that's it for our hot topics. We're gonna go ahead and leave this cafeteria and
I'm full, girl.
mosey on over to our next segment, which is
Dorm stories.
Zoom stories.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? In today's dorm story segment, we have a scenario coming to you from thestranger.com. I usually make the guy come to me or meet me halfway on the first date, but this guy suggested this really cool bar by him and I wanted to check it out. I drove almost an hour to meet him. We had text for a couple days prior to meeting, and he seemed like a decent guy. When I got to the bar, I saw him right away and approached him to introduce myself. Once I approached him, I was shocked by the first thing he said to me. It wasn't, "Hi, I am so and so," or "Hi, nice to meet you," or "Thanks for driving all the way here." It was, "How's your asshole?"
Mm-mm.
I didn't know what to say, so I just sat down to continue our date and hoped it would go better. Immediately after sitting down to order food, he took his menu and hit me on the face with it. Like pushed my menu forward to hit my face.
Oh my God.
And kept grabbing me. I yelled at him to stop. He also did the Three Stooges thing where he said I had something on my shirt. Then when I looked down, he flicked my face. I knew there was no way
God.
I could go through the entire night with him. I looked at my phone and noticed that my dad had texted me. So I lied to the guy and said that my dad needed me to call him real quick. So I had to step outside and I would be right back. When I walked outside, I blocked the guy's number and his dating profile, went to my car, drove an hour back home. I was only with him for 5 minutes. I've had so many bad dates, but this one was the worst.
Girl.
Baby. First of all,
First of all,
after having drove an hour to get there,
wait,
right?
Wait. Let's start before that. They were only texting for a couple of days. Texting. This lady did not even, assuming it's a lady, did not even have a phone conversation with this man before going on a date. See, that's why I had the phone conversation in the text. I mean the FaceTime, because child.
Didn't even get to know him a little bit. It was mess. He seemed like a decent guy. That's what she said.
Girl, that could
Text
have
for a
been his
couple days
dog
prior.
texting.
He is not his dog. My thing is, baby, you drove an hour for him to greet you.
That's gas.
And say, "How's your asshole?"
Jesus, fix it.
I wouldn't have been going on no date with nobody. First of all, you would have got cussed off for disrespecting
Disrespect, blatant.
Like, this is your first time meeting me, and this is how you this is how you say hello. I'm not sitting down to eat anything. I'm not sitting down to eat anything. And if you got a problem with me being mad that I'm being disrespected, you're the problem. Okay? Like, how's your asshole?
Right.
You're an asshole for asking that stupid ass
literally
question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, no. And then then she proceeds to sit down, has her menu in her face, and he pops her in the I'm sorry.
It's so childish. Like, I would have took that and plopped him back. like what?
Like, let's
for her dad to text for her to get an excuse of
right. She needed an excuse. She couldn't think of an excuse before her dad texted her. Like, let's just say he didn't even have that sorry ass introduction that he had when they met. Sitting down and then playing all these childish games, that would have pissed me off.
Yeah.
Like, maybe the one where he's like, "Oh, you got something in your shirt." Maybe that might have been like a ha funny cute, depending on how he did it.
But don't slap me with the menu, especially if it's one of those. If it's one of those leather ones or the hard book one. I don't care if it's even a plastic one. That's not sanitary. Don't plop me in my face with nothing. Like, sir.
No, you don't even know my level of funny. Like, bruh, like, just
especially since they only text. She definitely don't know. He definitely
don't know nothing. Don't even know what his voice sounded like. My gosh.
Right.
Of course, she didn't know his level of quote unquote funny. Shoot, I remember one time I talked to a guy on the phone and decided I wasn't going to go on a date with him because it was our interest in music. Like, he only listened to, I can't remember what it was, but he tried to argue with me about my taste in music. I think I had mentioned like J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. I mentioned like neo soul that I enjoy, Music Soul Child, and Jill Scott. I mentioned Erykah Badu. He didn't listen to none of that.
No.
I think he only listened to Future and one other person. And I was just like, you don't listen to nothing else? Like, nothing? Like, not even throwback 90s music? Like, you listen to nothing else. 90s. The fact that he tried to argue with me about why the music he listened to is so much better than mine, I was like, you are most definitely not getting a date. See, that's why phone conversations are important.
For sure.
Oh my gosh.
So I want to say, when meeting people for the first time for a first date, if the person is an hour away or further than that, and you're not willing to come my distance, we can at least do 30-minute drive. I don't care if that's your favorite spot or not. Like, we can do your favorite spot the 4th or 5th date, but for the first one, I'm not going the whole distance just to sit there for 5 minutes, get plopped in my face, plopped in my nose, disrespectfully spoken to, and have to drive back an hour, waste my gas, waste my time, be treated foul, and for what?
Well, she had plenty of time to think on that car ride back home, right? About the next time, how she should handle talking to somebody before she just be like, yeah, let's go.
Right.
I guess.
I hope she learned from it. It
was just the introduction itself. Like, I would have immediately turned around. Like, bruh, just disrespect is a no-no.
For me, even if it's not the wanting to know if we vibe or click or anything like that, like if it's chemistry beyond the texting, it's the validating. Like, it's so many instances that happen in America where people have been kidnapped, killed, everything when meeting quote unquote strangers, because they still are strangers. You're still strangers with going on dates. So I at least want to be able to know, okay, this face that I'm FaceTiming matches the face that's on a profile. Meanwhile, it could still be catfish. Like, you can say on a profile that you're 25, but you're really 50, or like you look really handsome in your pictures, but come to find out those are pictures of you from 30 years ago. Like, so, I was at a 90s party in that picture. That was my favorite picture, but really it's from the 90s.
And in addition to that, when doing so, I always make sure that somebody knows where I am.
That's what I was gonna
share my location, the address of where I'm gonna be, who I'm gonna be with. Mm-hmm. This is the picture of the person that I'm supposed to be meeting up with, but this is where I'm going to be. And like I've said a dozen times, a public place with hella people.
Same.
Not their house.
Not their house.
Shoot. Not their house. Don't be stupid. I'm serious. I had a guy get mad at me because I didn't want to go to his house. Like, are you seriously trying to make a first date be on your couch? Bruh, you probably even got no couch. I don't know. I'm not going to find out because I'm not going to your house.
Right. I concur. I agree with that. Mostly safety precautions. And then too, that's like, think about it. You're setting a preference. I mean, you're setting a preference. Here I go with these words again.
Precedence?
Thank you. You're setting a precedence. You go to his house for the first date. You saying that you're cool with that, kind of like, if it's up, then it's stuck. If that's where you start. If you're starting off with, I'm okay with Netflix and chilling, she okay with Netflix and chilling,
and y'all gonna keep Netflix and chilling.
Keep Netflixing and chilling. He probably taking the other girl out to Nobu or some other fancy restaurant. Set your precedents. Don't be sitting still just because he, she, or they are fine. No, like, they could be super attractive on the outside, but don't have no marbles on the inside.
Not a lick, nothing, empty.
But yeah. So if you know that you're the person who wants to go out to eat or something like that, let that be known. That doesn't mean that you're going out for a free meal. That just means that you know what it is that you want, and also that it's safer to not meet inside somebody's quarters. Just think before you act. Like, it's not a rush, man. Getting to know somebody, it takes time. Whether you going out in person, through text, FaceTiming, whatever it is, it's still gonna take time. So just please be safe, because child, it's a jungle out there.
All right, honey. Are you ready for these announcements?
Let's do it.
It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements.
For our announcements, April question of the month is asking, what is your absolute favorite book? We are going to be posting our question on our social media page, and all you have to do is just answer in a comment. Per usual, Monie and I will be sharing our response to our question of the month on our YouTube page.
All right, y'all, it's April, which means it is National Poetry Month. And once again, this year, Love Loud is having a poetry challenge. But instead of having it on the last week of April, we are hosting our challenge every Wednesday. Hashtag What's the Word Wednesday. We will give you a word as well as a photo, just like last year, and some guidelines for you to follow for the poetry challenge. We hope that y'all enter. We hope that y'all have fun. If you feel inclined, please send us your art, send us a video. We will post your work on our page. It's National Poetry Month, y'all, so let's have some fun and create lots of poetry.
So I mentioned our YouTube earlier. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead and visit YouTube, find Love Loud with 2 Ds, and subscribe. If you like what you're seeing, if you like what you hear, make sure that you put some likes, some comments, and let us know. But if you want to listen to our podcast on YouTube and stay up to date or in the know with our posts, you have to subscribe to our channel. And also, I think you can hit the bell, right? They have like a bell.
Yes, notification bell.
And stay.
You can ring my bell.
Oh my gosh.
Ring my bell.
Ring my bell. Ling-a-ling.
Hit that notification bell so you always be notified when we put up new videos. We should start adding that in there. We should put that on the YouTube page.
Yeah. Oh my God. But no, the meaning of that song, we cannot sing that song.
All right.
All right.
All right, last but certainly not least, if you enjoyed our podcast, if you have our merch, if you've read our books, if you enjoyed listening to our poetry, if you just like the layout of our Instagram page, we would love for you to send us a review via email, in our comment section, social media, DM, text message. If you know us personally, if you see us walking down the street and you're like, hey, you're Loud from Love Loud, or Your Love from Love Loud. I love you guys. We will very much appreciate it. However you want to send us and give us love, whether it's through a virtual hug, please do. We will very, very much appreciate it. As always, we love when we get feedback from you all. It feels so good. And if you do send us a written review, it will be featured on our website. We have a review tab. So maybe you don't know exactly what to say or how to write it. Check out the review tab and see what others have said.
And that is it for our 5th episode of season 2. We hope that you enjoyed it, and we can't wait for you to hear us in 2 more weeks.
In 2 more weeks. Peace.
Bye.